Hello, Flora-Bama Nation. Welcome to another episode of our Artist Spotlight series. And today, the artist that we have with us is none other than Davis Nix. Davis has become a very good friend of mine, and he's certainly one of our best players, best writers around here, best performers. Davis is a producer. He does a little bit of everything. But before we get into Davis's skill set, I want to just kind of give Davis the floor and let him tell you where he's from. Davis, where are you from?
I'm from Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama. Born and raised there. And I have an older brother. He's 2 years older. And it's actually his birthday this past Sunday.
Oh,
and
dude,
I remembered it.
Trey.
I remembered it, yeah.
That's awesome.
Called Trey. And mother and father that were in music and kind of raised us on that. But yeah, born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama, man.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 31.
31?
Yeah.
You just passed a big milestone, dude.
Be
It's all
32
downhill
this year.
from here.
Yeah.
God bless you. I know. I speak from experience.
32
My
during
liver's
Frank Brown.
Are you real? Oh, boy.
Yeah, during Frank Brown.
Oh, but
Every year.
Speaking of that, Frank Brown's coming up, and it's right around the corner. Every November for 10 days, we have a Songwriters Festival here that's based at the Flora-Bama. The Bama is the hub. Beyond that, though, we have about a total of 25 venues collectively on the west side and east side of the state line, and all kind of great artists down here playing. During that time, we have Davis, who is scheduled to play an all-star jam that took place last year as well. And how fun was that, man?
Man, people are still talking about that.
It was exceptional. Who all was
Yeah.
there? So Dave Kennedy, I know, was there.
Dave Kennedy,
Rob Snyder,
Channing Wilson, Jason Eady, Courtney Patton, Rob Aldridge, Wade Sapp, Neil Lucas, I think Eric Erdman.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the list goes on.
It was completely organic, and I have to go hats off to Jared McCutcheon for thinking of the concept, and we put it out there, and I was just blown away. The individuals that were just mentioned have some real accomplishments that are tremendous, and they're all great musicians and great performers in their own right, and just to see that combined and for it to happen so fluidly. I'm looking forward to this year again, and that will be on the first Saturday night.
Correct. I believe that's November 9th.
That is correct. Yep. So
mistaken.
November 9th, we have Davis Nix All-Stars during Frank Brown. I would love to see as many people out as possible and share the love with everyone, because it's certainly a great experience. One of the things that we spoke to when we were introducing Davis was the fact that he does a little bit of everything. Davis is an interesting artist. He has a skill set that's pretty incredible. First and foremost, I would say you're an artist. Would you say that?
I would agree with that. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, so Davis obviously plays music and performs live music, but he also does a couple of other things that is really impressive in terms of skill set. He's an incredible producer. The guy in the studio is a natural, and he's also an incredible songwriter. When you have an artist with a skill set like that, they kind of have to pick and choose what they focus on and when they focus on it. But if you had your choice, what would you spend the majority of time doing, and what does that look like for you professionally?
It changes every 2 years. So
It's a cycle.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why 2 years, but 2 years it seems. And hopefully I'll find a more clear, stable route with this change up of 2 years. But right now, I love being a tour manager and playing with a guy named Adam Hood. Right now, I'm currently producing a record for Patrick Cross, who's a great artist out of Montgomery. But all that being said, I love the service side as well. I love helping develop and manage artists. I think to find an artist that you believe in and to see that potential probably before other people do, or
Right.
maybe while
And to
other
help
people
foster
do,
it, fully develop it.
and really find something that's bigger than yourself, and then that passion is created, and you can really dive deep with that. I love
Mold
that
somebody,
side.
man.
Yeah.
And I think you're great at it. You mentioned something a moment ago, and specifically you mentioned Adam Hood.
Right.
I know that you're the tour manager for Adam Hood.
I am.
And for the people out there in Flora-Bama Nation that do not know Adam Hood, first and foremost, you should know Adam Hood. if you can
Should.
just articulate for a bit exactly who Adam is and some of his accomplishments, where he's from. Just bring us up to speed on Adam.
Okay. How do I put this all in one little summary, quick box? So he's born and raised Opelika, Alabama.
Bama boy.
Yeah, he's an Alabama guy. He's been at this for close to 20 years. And he has written some of your favorite songs that you probably did not know that he wrote. And a lot of them are what I would call deep cuts. And I love a good deep cut because that means I'm involved with the artist, like their record or their EP or whatever it is. Everybody from Randall Lambert to Leanne Womack. You can go over on the Texas countryside, Randy Rogers, Wade Bowen, recently Whiskey Myers. He wrote a song on my EP, that me and Dave Kennedy and Adam wrote one day.
If I had to frame him up, I would say he's a songwriter. The guy's a wordsmith, first and foremost. He's a superhuman being. And some of the stuff that he's done creatively, especially the last album that was put out, as a comprehensive body of work, I've seen very, very few albums in the last decade that honestly compare to that, with the exception of the one that you just released. I say just released. It wasn't. It's been a few months. Yeah. It's been a few months since Davis put it out into the world, but I recall being in my garage working on a birthday present for you when I got a call.
Yeah.
And you told me that you had received a telephone call removed.
Rolling Stone.
Yeah. Rolling Stone said that they dug your stuff too. And when I started to be able to hear it, you released it in 2 sequences pretty much, correct?
Right.
When I started to hear it, I realized that you'd really fully come into your own as an artist, songwriter. And some of the songs are just mind-blowingly good. Every song on there is exceptional.
Well, thank you.
One and the same as my song.
Yeah.
That's got to be my song.
Yeah, I think I sent you the immediate prints of the studio from April.
Yeah.
And because I wanted your input on everything. Because I value your input.
Well, I appreciate
that.
So not worth much.
Actually, kind of cuss on here. But so actually it was a year ago that Rolling Stone put that article out.
Coming up in October, wasn't it?
We were October 1st, buddy.
That's right. Today is the 1st, so it was officially
this
a year.
Month, yeah.
But the article was essentially the Rolling Stones top 10 people to look for in country music, and Davis was on that list, and rightfully on that list. The comprehensive body of work that he put out was just truly exceptional, every bit of it, and I think it expresses you as an artist. And one of the things that I would like to kind of highlight that happened, I know that you produced your own stuff, but in the process of producing, you brought in a couple of other musicians from notable acts that just created some real magic in the studio. Can you kind of speak to that?
So I brought in a guy before we got all the players and found the studio, a guy named Ben Ratliff. And
who is currently Hunter Hayes' tour manager, correct?
Correct. And
does a little TMing for a couple of other people as well. One by the name of Brent Kyle.
That's right. Yeah. He'll do a lot of advancing and make sure that old buddy Brent is good to go.
Taken care of.
And but Ben is a powerhouse in the sense of if you need something done, you can go and you ask him. You can go ahead and check it off your list. You don't even need to call back that it's done from him because he'll get it done. So that being said,
which is a rarity in our world.
I agree. I agree, man. Yet I got Ben Ratliff involved. He told me about Welcome to 1979, which is owned by Chris Mara and Yoli Mara.
Great studio.
Great people.
We call that Sylvan Park. Or is that the Nations? That's the Nations.
It's the Nations.
It's the Nations. Right? Yeah, it's the Nations in Nashville, which is essentially West Nashville, and 1979. I got to take this really quickly because Davis did something that was very cool for me, and he flew me up for my birthday and produced a record for me too, some of my stuff, which was one of the coolest things that anybody's ever done for me. I did that with my wife, and man, 1979, I can't speak highly enough the individuals that own it. They're great people and very capable people, and they have a certain approach to producing. They have tape only, correct?
They do have tape. They also have digital, but their main thing is if you want to get that tape sound with that '70s vibe of a studio atmosphere.
That's where to go.
It's so homey and so just
It's relaxed.
yeah, super cool,
It's
man.
inviting.
There's no pressure involved, and you get the whole place to yourself. And yeah, I mean, Chris Stapleton's recorded there, Miranda Lambert's cut there,
Sturgill Simpson.
Sturgill Simpson, Channing Wilson, Rob Aldridge, even. I mean, just it's a cool place, and it's people think tape, oh, expensive. Man,
No.
it's affordable to go over there because they make it affordable, because it's a place for artists that want to make great sounding records and be in that kind of environment. Nonetheless, Chris and Yoli are just, I mean,
Awesome folks.
it's hard to get better than them, to be honest with you.
You have fun in there just being around them, and you realize how capable they are, and like they just create such a hospitable environment that it makes the right circumstances for magic to happen. And I referenced it earlier. One and the Same is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
It's like one of my favorite songs, period. Not just on that EP, but you speak to a line in there that says, if you like Billy Moore Cobb and the funky he plays,
right.
Can you tell me who Billy Moore
I was
Cobb is?
about to get to that. That's awesome. So Ben Ratliff got me to Welcome 1979. We started putting the players together. Billy Moore Cobb consists of Jay Cott, who plays bass for Brent Cobb. At the time, Matt McDaniel was doing all of my auxiliary or utility guys, so he would play like pedal steel or dobro or B3 Hammond.
God, I hate guys like that are so good at everything.
And really good at all of it. Matt McDaniel, so he was part of Brent Cobb at the time. You had Tucker Wilson, who was playing drums for me on the record, who plays drums for Justin Moore. So we have Cobb, we have Moore. Now who's Billy? Will
Bass.
Harrison, who is playing guitar for me on that record, plays guitar for
Billy Currington.
So randomly during the first day of tracking, I might have had a vodka or two, and I was like, you know what we
Real
are?
hard to
We're
believe.
Billy Moore Cobb, man. And
the
everybody
band.
kind of sat back like, that's it, And the running joke was that we were going to play like 3 or 4 shows a year as Billy Moore Cobb. But
Still
as
think you should do it.
Yeah,
Can we book?
We'll
Can
figure it out.
Can we sit down and take a look at the books?
It's going to be like December or January because all those guys are
They're
touring.
busy and they're touring like crazy. I
They're
know.
warriors, man.
They are. But it ended up, that little amalgam of guys, along with your guidance in that studio, created something really, really special. Traveling Heartache is a song that I think is right for not only radio, but what would you call what you do? Would you say it's Americana? Or is it Americana country? Is it country
Yeah.
only? What do you think it is?
Classify
yourself.
I would say this is hard because ultimately a genre to me is a market and who your listener is.
Yeah.
And you can't control who your listener is. So I would say that majority of who I've seen my listener is are people that listen to country music.
Yep.
That's on the radio and is also not on the radio. They're also listeners that search out music
Sure.
that they like. So, which ultimately is the Americana genre, if you will.
Right.
Of people who don't listen to the radio a lot, they like to curate their own listening habits.
Right.
So I'm just blessed to have people just listen to it. Period.
It's such an awesome comprehensive work, and while we're putting it out there for everyone to investigate, tell us where you can go get it.
All the digital platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, and I think it's on Google Play, and it's my distributor hit all the points.
So they can actually go. You can go to Apple right now, and you can download the entire body of work, or you can download songs individually.
And you can stream it on Apple as well.
Perfect.
And Spotify. So
look him up. It's Davis Nix, folks. And
yeah, buddy.
Not only is he one of my best buds, he's one of the best musicians that we have down here at the Bama. We're lucky enough to have him several times throughout the year in multiple formats. When you get a chance, look on our website, Flora-Bama.com /music, and seek out Davis Nix. Again, thanks so much for joining us today at the Artist Spotlight, and thanks, Davis, for being here. I appreciate
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Flora-Bama.
See you guys.